China's sake. Maybe he comes out better on top here. Xuerui up against Xuerui. Xuerui, even at the age of 22, somewhat of a legend, isn't she? But one of the major titles she has missing, of course, is this, the World Championship. Our officials are on court. Sine, the Indian umpire, and David Turner of Australia, the service judge. Well, not the start to the evening China wanted, and well, there's no doubt about the Xuerui's talent, but this is going to be an interesting one against Yeon, because they've met a few times. It's close in terms of their head-to-head meetings. I have to say that what I've seen of Xuerui so far this week, she has been very impressive, but it was a fantastic performance yesterday against Sina Nehwal after a bit of a sluggish start, but boy did she come good in the end, Yeon.
Looking great on you.
Ranked number 16, the number 13 seed here against the world
Orange
number 1.
and yellow.
But as I was saying, Steen, Lee winning at the moment on the head-to-heads 3-2, but Bei has won 2 of the last 3.
Yeah, she has, and she sort of came out a totally different player yesterday after the interval in the first game against Sina Nehwal, and adapted to the drift in the hole, the circumstances, and just played brilliantly. I think it's after the Olympics that she's beaten Xuerui twice, and as we've discussed earlier in this tournament, what's been going on since the Olympics is going to be different from what's actually happening in this tournament. So my favorite would still be Xuerui, but perhaps there's, I mean, the pressure on her has increased. She's last standing Chinese, and
yeah, 1 of 4 women.
It would be almost unthinkable to have a final in China, ladies singles final, without a Chinese in it.
Of course.
So
you have to go back to 1999 to the last time there wasn't a winner. Never mind a non-finalist in the women's singles. And here is Yeon, world ranked 16. She has been as high as number 5. Quarterfinalists this year at the Indian Open, the Swiss Open, the Korean Open, semis. Her best at Malaysian Open. Been a couple of first-round losses, Singapore Open recently, whereas Xuerui, world number 1, won her first title of the year at the Indonesian Open in June, then lost in the final to Wang Yihan, who was the defending champion here this week at the Singapore Open. Also finalist at the Asian Badminton Championships in Taiwan. But it was the All England where Bei really did cause an upset against Xuerui. You can see it was pretty comprehensive for the Chinese player in the Indonesian Open recently, but it was at the All England where Bei won 21-18, 21-18.
And we saw Xuerui struggling a bit against the Zhu Yingtai in the first game, eventually ending up winning it 27-25.
In the first game, yeah.
Yeah, and then being quite convincing in the second, but that indicates that she's perhaps not quite as strong as during the Olympics.
And with Wang Shixian out, Wang Yihan out, the women's doubles pair, the Olympic champions, just losing as well. You know, this drip feeds sometimes, doesn't it, into the camp.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and of course, it was Korea
on my right,
on top in the last match as well.
Yeon, Korea, and on my left, Xuerui, China. Xuerui serve Double play.
Well, last Chinese lady standing is the champion. She takes the first one.
Love.
Looking length right there. Second World Championships, her first ended in the first round. Confident start.
One of the things that I feel could be the difference today compared to the match Bay played yesterday against Steiner is that Xuerui seems to be moving quite a bit better than Steiner did yesterday.
Well, apparently I read that Steiner, maybe she was affected with a stomach bug as well.
Yeah.
Crowd enjoyed that one.
Here. Coaching the Chinese ladies singles.
The last 3 Olympic titles have gone to these two, haven't they?
Yeah.
The coach and the player. Well, she can't have asked for a better beginning than this, obviously, for Zip. Well, we saw they have a slow start yesterday. Didn't put her off. That was just out.
Really, it wasn't out in my opinion. It was touching the line, and that should be enough. But sometimes these kind of shots tend to get called out.
It was close, wasn't it? Even in super slow-mo, it's not 100% clear. She means business, doesn't she?
That's the thing. Often with China, if we think it's quite good, we think they have not so good tournament. They end up anyway winning 4 titles.
Well, they end up winning 5 still.
Yeah.
And 105, of course, in Paris and in London in the last 2 World Championships. Stopping this at the moment, is there, for Bay? There's another shuttle sails past her. Close calls going her way, because it's another close call, that's for sure. Definitely drifted back in. nightmare start for her, isn't it?
Play.
She was off to a slow start yesterday, but nothing like this.
Way too short. Too short again. Totally, and Xuerui trying to keep up with her.
Well, this is torturous at the moment for Bay, isn't it? Here you go, have a point. Tough, isn't it? You know, you get to a semi-final and then you're up against this. You'd rather be in it than not. It's extremely one-sided affair.
What was the last result from Indonesia Open? What was the score there, Richard? Do you have that?
Sorry, say that again?
The score from Indonesia Open where Xuerui won?
21-10, 21-12.
Yeah. So I would expect it to be something like this today as well, because there's definitely a big difference in pace from yesterday. Xuerui moving really well.
그리고 이쪽 면허한테 깎는 거 있죠.
Good. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Thank you. 11-2, play.
Well, she needs to get into the swing of things quickly here, Bay. She's going to be off court pretty quickly. That's the problem, isn't it, when you're being pummeled in the way she is? You then start thinking you've got to start playing even better. And she's been playing well this week, obviously, to reach the semi-finals.
Yeah, but she is going to have to play better. She's going to try to go for an absolutely 100% day. It's more like it's...
And everything's going wrong, isn't it? You know, a few calls either side, the net cord there goes over.
So it's really important that you're tough in the head, so to speak, that you can slowly work your way into the game. I mean, this game here is gone, so try to get a little bit of feel for it, try to get some encouragement, scoring a few points, finding out where can I actually play it and nothing bad is happening to me. Right now, something bad is happening almost everywhere.
I mean, in a way, she has to think, right, can I get 10 points out of this game?
Yeah, not really so much about the points, but can I get to play some rallies that can give me some hope for the next game?
Xuerui. Short and is punished. They've only been on court 9 minutes. First game's getting closer.
She could hope for a little bit of a slowdown from Xuerui. she gets a little bit content. I mean, this is okay.
3-16.
Yeah, you don't want to save yourself for the final just yet, though, do you?
No.
We've seen Bei, you know, she has got powers of recovery.
And she's probably also watched the match from yesterday where Saina had a very, very big lead, because I think she was leading like 14-7 or something and still lost the game.
Yeah, a couple of errors from Lee gives a little bit of respite for Bei. It was much needed as well.
In. No.
18-4.
Wasn't wide by much.
Service 5.
But she wishes she could come out
18.
again. Start again. Yeah.
The last 3 points she's got was quite easy mistakes from Xuerui. She hasn't been able to create points for herself.
19-5.
Basketball, where the Harlem Globetrotters travel around the world.
Yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
The great show, and they've got a team traveling with them to sort of lay up for them, and that's the feeling I've got right now. The Yeon Bei is here, so that Xuerui can show all the tricks, all the shots.
Well, she had a handful of points. That is all for Bei Yeon. That was a complete one-sided first game. 21 points to 5 in just 12 minutes.
힘이 조금만 붙여서 조금만 내려가게 되면 쟤는 벌써 위에서 갑자기 위에서 잡힌단 말이야. 좀 탁 같이 탁 밀어줘야 돼. 탁 밀어주고 사이드 봐주고 이렇게 좀 더 빨라야 돼. 좀 더. 지금 속도로는 못 쫓아가. 정확하게
What do you say to her? What do you say now? I mean, go out and enjoy yourself in the semi-final.
She's not here to enjoy herself. She's here to try to win a silver medal at least. So you have to start all over. You have to be very specific, and you've got to come up with a whole new plan, because what you've done so far clearly isn't working. And then you cross your fingers, you cross your toes, you cross your legs, you cross everything that she gets off to a good start, so she can get some kind of belief, because right now she can't see how on earth am I going to score points against this magnificent Chinese player.
You also need to relax her as well, don't you?
Sorry?
Do you need to relax her as well, or that you're just saying you have to be specific in terms of...
Depends a little bit on the personality of the player. I mean, probably the coach has a good idea on how the feeling will be for Bei. Will she just be unbothered by this, or will she be sort of affected that she hasn't scored a lot of points?
Well, surely it can only get better for Bay here. Oh.
Well, it would be fair to say that she hasn't got any questionable calls going her way.
Her coach applauded the shot. We haven't seen the replay of that, but my initial instinct looking down the line as we are was that it actually hit the line, but there we go. It is one of those days for her, isn't it?
Yeah, and 2 more points to Xuerui, and it would be really hard to believe in a comeback for Bay.
Yeah, not today.
That's why.
I think I'm right in saying the 2 semi-finalists on the other side, which obviously we're going to see fairly shortly, game 5 today. They've both beaten Xuerui as well, but this is kind of a message, isn't it, from her as well?
Yeah, it is, and it's as we expected, actually, because if there's someone that had beaten Xuerui up to the Olympics or in the Olympic qualification year, then I think it's noticeable. But having beaten Xuerui from the Olympics until now,
You're saying that it's the focus, isn't it?
Yeah, and clearly when Bay beat Xuerui twice, Xuerui wasn't displaying this kind of form that she is right now.
Yeah, she's off again, isn't she? 4-0 start.
Yeah, and we must remember 3 of the 5 points. I don't know about the first 2 because I didn't count them, but 3 of the points was sort of gifts from Xuerui. There was the first point she scored herself since she got 2 points in the first game.
They landed right on the line, to her relief.
Stretching and reaching, whereas Xuerui is in quite good position for most of her shots.
Said after her victory yesterday that almost like the defeats of her opponent, she said, will concentrate me even more, Xuerui, and I think we're seeing a little bit of proof of that. It's been a very focused display from her.
There was a little thing, she was not in entirely good position in her backhand there.
Her performance in 2012 was unbelievable. 8 titles, she actually won 56 out of her 65 matches. One time she went on a 30-match unbeaten run, February to June. That was Olympic year.
Yeah.
That's in the build-up to Olympics. That's where she was concentrating on giving herself the right preparation for gold. 5 titles in a row. job for him, isn't it, really? Got an interval coming up again shortly. And heart in heart must know game's over. Got to keep trying, you never know, I suppose, but...
Yeah, and she's played much better in the beginning of this second game than she did in the first. Well played.
For a winner, nonchalant, all set up by a brilliant tight net shot. Dominating still in this match, despite Bei Yunju's very best efforts.
Xuerui, 5-9.
She's just controlling everything, Xuerui. So fast and so precise shots.
Xuerui, 6-10.
So at the interval, 11-6, the lead for Xuerui. Not quite as dominant as game one, but dominant nonetheless.
Play. It's
hard, isn't it, to stay mentally switched on completely when it scores like this.
Yeah. And you probably shouldn't be completely switched on. You should just make sure that you do not get in trouble.
7.
Because there'll be a match tomorrow for Xuerui, and yeah, it's interesting to see if one of the two players that we're going to see later today, Intanon and Sindhu, if they can challenge her. They've got, the way I see it, they got better movements than Bay, and that's really, really important to be able to challenge Xuerui.
Episode 8-13.
Well, a few errors creeping in from Lee then, expectedly.
Episode 14-9.
Haven't seen much in the way of rallies the last few points, are we?
Like she can score points whenever she decides to. Oh, no, I want to win this, and then she does it. Errors forced by the drift and the excellent display of Xuerui.
Almost there. Coming quicker than expected as well. Very little resistance coming at the other end for Xuerui. The tightness and the tension of the previous semi-final, this one has been a bit of a damp squib, and you get the feeling maybe it might be a one-sided affair in the next semi. We shall see. Dan on court next. Starting in supreme form and finishing it in pretty decently.
I think Bay, she just wants to get out of that court now because it's no fun being there. Still fighting. She took a chance, Bay, and she read it exactly right.
10-20.
She has to be satisfied with her bronze medal and her match yesterday against Saina Neval.
11 20.
9 match points still remain. And there you go. Proficient. Excellent display by Xuerui. They swept away.
9-1-9. Xuerui. 3-1-5. 3-1.
Xuerui totally in command. 16 points only for Yeon. She, as Steve says, has to be content with a bronze. Ratchanok, Internet or PV Sindhu awaits in the final then for the Olympic golden girl, Xuerui. And she'll go into that final in confident mood after this performance. (21-5), 21-11, the final scoreline in this women's singles semi-final.